Hi guys, we know people can get rich in any profession, any business, regardless the environment, regardless the neighborhood, regardless the profession, regardless their talent or not. We all know what they do. They think in a different way and they do things in a different way. So there are two things they do differently. One, they think in a different way, they act on a different way. This specific video is basically to cover how they act on a different way. I have made my previous video to discuss about how they think in a different way. The entire content is basically according to the thinking of Wallace D. Wattles in his The Science of Getting Rich book, and some of the concepts I get from Mr. Hill's book Think and Grow Rich. Okay, now how they act in a different way and they get rich. They have a thought in their mind. For accomplishing this, the very first thing they do is they set a goal. They set a goal to succeed. So it's not their end result. Success is not their end result. They create a mindset. They create a choice. When they started with a success mindset. They chose to succeed. That's what their goal is. Now, and then as soon as they set their goal, they basically add a value to accomplish their goal. What's the value is, let's say for example, I'm a software engineer and I'm doing my job. What skills I can learn to provide a better and quality coding or result or design in my job? That's how they add value. If they're in business, what value they can add in their business? They always think about adding more values. They never compete on anyone. They always think about their creation. So if they're in business, they do not compete anyone. According to Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, those who got rich by competing with others, they lost their riches at some point. So people who get rich, he suggests avoid competition, focus on creation. He says, how can you create it? There are always ways to create it. If when you will see there is no way, he provides an example. Think about if you are in search of gold, if all of the gold from the earth is pulled out, then there will be even more gold created in the earth. If nothing is created, it will be created from formless substance. So according to him, we should always focus on creation. And when we focus on creation, things will automatically happen. There will be a way around it. There will be a certain things which will create the door open. They always work on their present situation, present circumstance. Regardless how hard their life is, regardless how their job is, regardless how hard their business is or how worst situation they are in, they always try to improve their present situation. So example, if someone is an employee, he always try to get a better employee and then try to do better things. If at some point, if he does not get rewarded for the things he is doing better, then he will certainly go to a different, better position or in a different location. So they always act on present thing. They do not think like, I'm in a worse situation, let this thing happen and I will do better. No, they do not do this. And then they provide impression of increase. What is the impression of increase? The impression of increase is basically everything in this universe is increasing and everything wants to be increased. It's the law of nature. So what they think is, if they are growing, they help each other to grow. They basically share what they're doing. And then they always provide more use value than the cash value. If something they are selling, they provide more service. If some example, Wallace D. Wattles put in his book, this book may cost a lot more money than the cost of the book itself if someone gets rich by studying it. There are lots of examples what can be brought into providing more use value than cash value. But the important part of it over here is how they do all of these things. They always maintain a persistence with their disciplined life. Now, how do they maintain persistence and maintain discipline? Because if someone wants to do something, he may have a fear because he has not done this, right? So they always learn something, gather knowledge. That's how they conquer fear. So knowledge is always the opposite of fear. They always gather knowledge, conquer fear, and that's how they maintain persistence with the discipline. This is basically the summary of acting in a certain way. Make sure you watch the previous video, which basically explains how to think in a certain way. It's because you cannot act on a certain way if you are not sure how to think in a certain way. So, according to Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, people get rich from any profession, any circumstance, any environment, from any location, or in any profession by doing the two different things. One, thinking in a certain way, which I previously described in my video, and this is acting on a certain way. Does this really work? Well, it has significantly improved my financial situation. It has significantly improved my health condition. It has significantly improved my familial relationship, the quality of the relationship I have with my family. So try it with yourself. Let me know if this is working, how this is working. If this doesn't working, let me know too. I will try my best to help you from what I know and what I have been doing. Thank you for watching this video.